As a longtime comic book enthusiast and X-Men devotee, I must say that the scenes featuring Wolverine stand out as some of the most memorable and impactful moments in the entire X-Men film series. Each scene showcases different aspects of Logan's character development, from his emotional turmoil to his physical prowess, making him one of the most compelling characters on screen. But Hugh Jackman's portrayal of Wolverine consistently ranks among the best live-action superhero characters, with impressive scenes in all 10 films he's been featured in. This remarkable casting choice has significantly contributed to many memorable moments throughout the X-Men film series by Fox. To be precise, each of the 10 movies featuring Jackman as Wolverine boasts at least one scene that deserves recognition. Among the X-Men films from Fox, not all are equally brilliant, with some clearly outshining others in terms of quality. Yet each movie offers at least one memorable performance, and by Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, be it a captivating character progression, a crucial plot point, or an electrifying action sequence. It's no wonder that the Australian actor's comeback to the role in Deadpool and Wolverine generated such high expectations. Without a doubt, one of the standout films from the initial X-Men series is X2. Interestingly enough, one of its top Wolverine moments also ranks among the movie's finest X scenes overall. In this scene, when Stryker dispatches a covert squad to breach the X-Mansion, it falls to Wolverine and the senior mutants housed there to fend off the attackers. The ensuing action is filled with tension as the intruders are swiftly outmatched by the diverse array of formidable mutant powers showcased at the Nanner, notably including Wolverine's. The scene is a great showing for Wolverine's fighting and leadership skills, using dirty tricks like stabbing Stryker's soldiers in the feet, while instantly taking command of the situation by barking orders to Colossus, who quickly carries them out. It also shows how far he's come character-wise, whereas Logan was once a vagrant drifter, only surviving for his own sake. He now fights for a greater purpose in an effort to protect the children of Xavier's school for gifted youngsters. It's no wonder the X2 mansion, as attack, is still looked back upon so fondly. In the movie Logan, Hugh Jackman's portrayal of Wolverine didn't get a better cinematic conclusion than this. The film masterfully transitioned Wolverine from the solitary, wild character to a abusive, nurturing father figure for Professor X and Laura. Despite his inability to protect Professor X, Logan went to extraordinary measures to secure the safety of X-23 and other characters and children. He even used a steroid that hastened his own fatal illness to gain the strength required for this task. Leaving that time paces, and a lot of them has been a lot of not hurt a lot to murder, and had to call the story believing. And to show her to wild them that every single time made all more smallest. Laura cradled in his arms, realizing an earlier prophecy from the film The Wolverine, but he would die with his heart in his hands. It is later revealed that this forecast wasn't about a physical organ, but rather symbolized a profound emotional bond with Laura, adding poignancy to his final moments. As fantastic as Hugh Jackman's retirement of the character in Logan was, it's hard to say that anyone wasn't excited for his return in Deadpool and Wolverine. The film was technically evaded ruining Logan's ending by introducing a new variant of Wolverine, one who is plagued by doubt. After he failed to save his universe's X-Men, Jackman brings all to his return to the character. But the film's standout scene for Wolverine has to be the final moment in which he joins hands with Deadpool in order to form an antimatter conduit capable of stopping the Time Ripper. And in the background, Like a Prayer echoes dramatically as they clasp hands, reminiscent of a grand movie premiere As memories flood back, Wolverine's uncertainties dissolve, leading him to sacrifice that himself for the sake of a universe. The iconic Wolverine mask now adorning his face. His shirt tears away in a dramatic flourish, revealing a physique lethal enough to be mistaken for chiseled stone. Extravagant, emotional, heartfelt, and subtly sensual, and this scene serves as the perfect finishing touch to the extraordinary finale of Deadpool and Wolverine. Discussing the Wolverine movie doesn't rank among the most captivating X-Men films, but it certainly offered numerous chances for fantastic Wolverine scenes. A particularly striking moment occurs early in the film, set during one of Wolverine's military escapades during World War II. As a prisoner of war in Imperial Japan, close to Nagasaki, Wolverine bears witness to the detonation of the atomic bomb by the Allies, an event that leaves a lasting impact on him. In an attempt to evade the terrifying impact of an imminent explosion, both Wolverine and one of his captors miraculously find refuge within a heavily fortified well. However, as the realization sinks in that the bomb's searing heat wave would still reach them, Wolverine displays an act of incredible bravery by shielding the soldier with a chunk of debris and enduring excruciating burns across his back as a result. The soldier Yoshida is left spellbound as Wolverine's extraordinary healing abilities swiftly repair his wounds, paving the way for a story that would unfold decades later. I'm going to see. Despite X-Men Origins, Wolverine being considered one of Hugh Jackman's less impressive outings as the legendary mutant, there are still moments where his exceptional acting skills truly shine, such as in select scenes throughout the film. Some of these memorable sequences include the transformation of his adamantium in the Weapon X program and his initial experimentation with his new clones. However, it's the gripping opening credits depicting Wolverine in Sabretooth wreaking havoc through various wars that truly stand out as the most unforgettable. The mostly wordless montage shows the lengths that Tooth commonly Bond went through across human history, from the American Civil War all the way up to Vietnam. It also gives key details on the moral difference between the two warriors, with Wolverine finally ending the scene when he steps in to prevent Sabretooth from sexually assaulting a defenseless civilian. One of the best opening scenes of any superhero movie. It's a shame this breathtaking sequence is stuck in an otherwise mediocre film. Taking in the past and focusing on a revamped younger group of X-Men, many fans were surprised that Wolverine would show up in X-Men Apocalypse, yet Jackman sneakily added the movie to his resume with an unaccredited cameo as Wolverine transformed into Weapon X, a feral mutant at that time. With the X-Men cornered deep within Stryker's facility, they were left with no other option but to release Weapon X in order to create enough chaos for them to break free. Creative diversion undeniably does, as Wolverine, clad merely in the cybernetic tracking devices from the program, rips to the facility, leaving a trail of blood in his wake en route to liberation. Employing Wolverine's feral form as an unintentional safety hazard was one of the shrewdest ideas in X-Men Apocalypse, resulting in a memorable cameo, but doesn't outstay its welcome. Although this is Wolverine's solitary scene in the film, it remains among the most impressive of his X-Men movie career. In the X-Men prequel timeline, Wolverine didn't only make a brief appearance in X-Men Apocalypse, he also popped up for a moment in the initial film of the new trilogy during Eric and Charles's montage as they gathered mutants to their cause. However, Logan wasn't easily convinced by their pitch. He bluntly responded with an expletive that was the movie's sole allowed F-word, saying, "Go fuck yourself." This hilariously prompts Magneto and Professor X to wordlessly leave, though the interaction would come back to haunt Wolverine later. When he travels back in time to convince Charles Xavier to help him avert the disastrous future, Charles simply quotes the last thing he remembers Wolverine telling him, though he misremembers the phrase as FK off.
This scene sets up where Logan is mentally during the events of X-Men First Class, allowing him to grow and cringe at his old behavior later.
That X-Men The Last Stand faced numerous issues, such as the over-the-top depiction of the eagerly anticipated villain Juggernaut and the unfortunate handling of the much-loved comic book tale The Black Dark Phoenix. Despite these flaws, the movie does deliver some impactful emotional moments, notably Wolverine's poignant exchange with Jean Grey. The Scott-Logan-Jean love triangle grew repetitive in the X-Men trilogy, but it doesn't lessen the sorrow of its heartfelt resolution when it transpires. In this scenario, it's only Wolverine who withstands the lethal aura discharged by the Dark Phoenix due to his regenerative abilities. Consequently, he's compelled to put an end to the Jean Grey's destructive alter ego. For a fleeting moment, he manages to reach the genuine Jean and express his love for her before tragically stabbing her in a poignant climax that leaves him tormented. This emotional conclusion is further emphasized in the film The Wolverine. However, it's important to note a potential plot inconsistency. There were numerous mutant cure vials left over from the previous fight, which Logan could have utilized as an alternative. Unlike the Days of Future Past comic, where Kitty Pryde travels back in time, the movie version switches things up by sending Wolverine instead. This alteration allowed for one of the most memorable Wolverine scenes to occur, as Logan finds himself in a 1973 version of his own body. This scene underscores the character's evolution, as Hugh Jackman, portraying Wolverine, wakes up next to an unfamiliar woman he was supposed to protect, lying bare-chested and muscular, just as we remember him from before. In keeping with his past persona, Logan is still a bit of a ladies' man, even in this new time. Logan, as a die-hard fan of Wolverine, I must say that the most captivating moment in this scene is when he struggles to convince his colleagues about his origin from the future and grapples with his pre-adamantium self during a fight. It's fascinating to witness how Logan, who had grown accustomed to his indestructible bones and razor-sharp claws, flinches at gunfire that can now shatter his skeleton and finds it challenging to make his natural claws penetrate effectively. This scene showcases a significant part of Wolverine's character development, making it one of the most impactful in his cinematic journey. One memorable moment from the initial X-Men movie featuring Wolverine is undoubtedly his debut scene. The film kicks off with Hugh Jackman's iconic portrayal of Logan, who's already engaged in a fierce cage fight, showcasing his adamantium-reinforced bones by knocking out his adversary brutally. When some thugs linked to the fight suspect that Logan is using his mutant powers for financial gain, they challenge him. However, they underestimate Wolverine's capabilities when he reveals his retractable claws on screen for the first time, leaving them in awe. In this pivotal instance, Hugh Jackman's portrayal of Wolverine marked the start of an unrivaled cinematic reign of superhero excellence that lasted over 2 decades. From the get-go, it was evident how perfectly Jackman embodied his iconic character, from his fierce demeanor to his introverted nature. It's challenging to erase from memory the chilling seconds when Wolverine's middle claw extended menacingly against an unsuspecting villain's neck, leaving a haunting impression that lingers still.